Welcome back. I gotta say, that is a lot of fun. Man, have I been busy. I recently decided I was gonna start training for the Kalamazoo Marathon in April of next year. I've also went for my first community ride with a local bike shop, Pedal, here in Kalamazoo. That was a lot of fun. But the garage has also been really packed. And aside from having to fix my mountain bike, I've had to fix up a lot of other things too recently. But let's get back to the garage and I'll show you everything I had to do to fix up my mountain bike and everything else that's been going on. So let's review Mark and Glenn mountain biking trail. I don't think they're green trails. I think they're blue. I think they're that little blue square. And I'll tell you why. The trails are rather loose in most areas. It's not very well compacted. And so you need really big knobby tires in order to run any sort of cornering well. The trees are really close to the trail, so oftentimes you have to slow way down or just travel slower in general in order to not break your collarbone and shatter your arm. The jumps that are there have no landing either. It's just straight flat onto the rest of the trail. Overall, I had a really fun time, but I gotta go really slow in order to not kill my bike on the first bad jump I have, which is exactly what happened last time, by the way. So I find myself in need of some pretty serious upgrades if I want to bike that consistently. Or there are some other trails nearby that I can also ride. All right, we're back at the garage. Let's get this thing in a stand and I'll show you what all I've done to it. So I did build this stand myself and it's not the greatest, but it was free. Anyways, here's the bike. Let's go over it. So from the last video, you saw that the front rim was completely tacoed and I went to the co-op here in Kalamazoo, the bike co-op. It's a great place full of great people. I would thoroughly recommend finding your local co-op if you have the opportunity. And I did get a replacement 29-inch wheel, double-walled mountain biking rim. So it has been working really well. All the tines are nice and tight and well-tuned and well-trued. And it only cost me 42 bucks. It's definitely a hit, but I guess it could have been worse, certainly. Anyways, the day after I replaced the front rim, the rear tire was flat, very, very flat. That was very annoying, but I did have a patch kit with me and I was able to successfully patch it. And I took it to Cadillac. And if you watched my latest vlog where my girlfriend and I went to Sleeping Bear Dunes, we did some mountain biking after doing that at the very end of the video. We get done, we bike through a parking lot and there was a tack found in the rear tire. So it was flat. Again, great for me. So I patched it for the second time and I just bought and got in a replacement tube for it. That was $10. So far I have spent $52 on getting this bike fixed. Anyways, here's the rear tube. I got it off of Amazon and I'm gonna install it here in a second. But the other thing I did with the bike was to install 3 of these green cable ends. You can see there. So one for the derailleur, and 2 for the brakes, 1 there and 1 here. And the last thing I did was reroute these cables like Seth did in his Berm Peak video so that these both go to the same side. And I tied them together with some electrical tape. The only thing you gotta be careful with rerouting is to make sure you have enough cable and to not scratch up the outside of the cable housing when you're putting it through the newly cut and drilled frame in order to make space for the second cable. So you can see that this tire is biased towards the left, so I got some spoke wrenches in order to fix it and get it going more towards the right, and so it won't scrape the frame or break the tire. I did take some chain pliers and break the chain in order to reroute it above this metal bracket like Seth does in his Berm Peak videos, and that works great. And I also had to retune it after that just because it was running a little differently, and now it works great. Now in Berm Peak's videos, his bottom bracket blew up on him, which I have not had any issues with. And like I said I was going to, I did swap out the seat for one I had on a different bike and gave the more comfortable saddle to my sister. The one major upgrade I do want to give this bike is hydraulic brakes. Don't know if I have the money for that at the moment, but I know it is in the plans for this bike. I am pretty happy with the grips, although I would probably replace the pedals at some point for the price of like 15, 20 bucks, that's not bad. I just find that my feet often slip off of them and that these nubs don't really do much. As you can see, they're pretty dull and they're not very long either. So I could probably end up replacing these pretty soon. And maybe I'll just get green pedals to match the vibe of the bike. Green cable ends, because my favorite color is green, if you didn't know that. As for the front shock, I'm happy to leave it until it either breaks or until I hurt myself not having a better one. Although if I want to do anything more intense, I know that I will need an upgrade. I don't currently have a water bottle mount that is big enough for any of the water bottles I own, so this is just going to be left blank for now, and I think that's fine. First things first though, let's get this rear tire off and replace the tube that has 2 patches in it. The one disadvantage of not having a proper clamping system is that it tends to get a little wobbly on me. So here you can see the 2 patches that I put on it. They're actually looking pretty good. It's just really unfortunate that I had to patch it in the first place. Otherwise, the tube looks pretty good, but we're still gonna replace it. We have a replacement here, 29 inch by 2.4, and nice and new, no holes in it. Let's do it. All right, I got the new tube in and it's all inflated. Let's put it on the bike. All right, looks good. Anyways, it's good that we got that done. It's never good to really run on patches for too long. They can really break or leak at any time, and they'll likely lead to you tacoing your rear tire as well, or whatever tire you have patched. All right, with that taken care of, let me show you what else I have going on in the garage these days. So the other day I visited my brother and his girlfriend in GR, and I came back with her scooter. It's quite a nice 50cc scooter, but it wasn't working in GR. So we took it back here so I could fix it up, and I found the problem. And let's talk about that. So on this 50cc scooter, this is the air intake, and right behind here is the carburetor. That was all gunked up from this being left out in the winter, and it wouldn't start and it wouldn't actually fire the engine at all. So we knew it was probably a fuel intake systems problem. And so I took off this air intake, took off the carburetor, and I cleaned out all of the little air nozzles full of all the gunk that they had in them, and now it works great. Anyways, I plan on using it this weekend when Hannah comes over for my birthday weekend and scoot around town with it. It should be a lot of fun. I did end up taking the scooter for a bit of a test ride just to make sure it worked, and it rode well. And earlier in the week I had some flip bikes in the garage. The second one did not go as well, but at least I got my money back. Also, if you're gonna buy a $400 department store bike, get the Kent Trouvaille, don't get the Schwinn. The Schwinn is garbage. And I got all the flip bikes sorted out. I'm a little done with that for now, but sooner or later this guy's gonna need some work too. I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it, and as always, be sure to show your support, say that 10 times fast, and visit the links in the description down below to support me in the channel, and I'll be upgrading this bike for sure. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.